Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Mike Davis, Director of Enterprise Sales here at Conga, and over the next 30 minutes look forward to bringing you through the sales acceleration process with the complete Conga suite. Really today we're going to focus on the life of a sales rep and where Conga wraps around the investments that you've already made in Salesforce and potentially even Salesforce CPQ as well. Conga has been around as a company for about 10 years now. And really proud of the fact that we're the #1 reviewed paid app on the Salesforce App Exchange. And that's specifically for our Conga Composer document generation suite of products. But Conga, over the last year, has become a lot more of that. And from a strategy perspective, we are looking at Salesforce, both in the Sales Cloud, Service Cloud communities experience, and looking at building and purchasing applications that are complementary both to CRM, Service Cloud, and Salesforce CPQ. And so over the last year, we've added some things that help upstream around data management because we've been that best-in-class document company, but without good data, generating documents isn't totally worthwhile. And so we'll show you our ActionGrid product that helps users identify data gaps and also improve CRM hygiene by quickly allowing them to update records. From there, we'll show you how Conga Composer, either on demand, on a schedule, or on a workflow, can generate presentations, generate personalized and enhanced proposals that are integrated outbound to e-signature providers like DocuSign. When a sales rep is actually ready to generate a quote, in this case from Salesforce CPQ, we'll show you how we can enhance that and add an executive summary on top of that. Recently, we launched a native to Salesforce redlining application. So once that quote gets approved and the sales rep starts working with the legal department at their customer, we'll show you today how that can be accelerated and how we can enable that salesperson, since they've been authorized to negotiate certain business terms, to get deals done quicker without needing to go to legal to review everything. And then on the tail end with the Conga Composer suite, we can also automate account plans when people are coming up for renewal, as well as automate reports for the executive team and produce executive-ready reporting on a schedule delivered to email in a predictable format, whether that's PowerPoint or Excel. And so what I'm going to do now is actually toggle over to the demonstration. And as I'm going through this over the next 20 minutes, if you do have questions, everyone is on mute. So you can go ahead and enter your questions in the GoToMeeting, and we'll field those when appropriate. All right. And so I'm logged in as a sales rep, and this is the Lightning experience that we'll be staying in today. Just as a point of reference, if you're still in Classic, all the functionality that I'm going to show you today is totally compatible with the Classic Salesforce experience as well. So as a sales rep, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my day by looking at my opportunities in my pipeline. And immediately we see the first application from Conga, which is ActionGrid. This solution really helps on the data side of things and getting better data in, cleaner data in the system. And so right when I go to this page, my attention is drawn to a few of these opportunities. because we can do conditional formatting and really bring this, essentially this has replaced a list view. We can bring this to life and do conditional formatting. This drives sales leaders absolutely crazy in my customer base when the close date is in the past. Every sales leader I've ever met has 1 or 2 or 3 fields that really bugs them if they don't keep them updated. And so as a salesperson, I know I need to act on these fields. And what I can do is I can adjust that close date, but I can also do Excel-like functionality, in this case a lasso, to do some updating of multiple records on the same screen. So I don't have to tab open, I don't have to run a report, I can just do a fill down or a mass update on all the relevant ones. And before I save this, it gives me a little cheat sheet to let me know which opportunities I'm actually updating. I'm going to go ahead though and I'm going to revert this change. Likewise, I can change any of the field values on the opportunity that I need to. Another very nice feature that the sales people and sales leaders really like about ActionGrid is this concept of a reading pane. This is very similar to if your organization is using Outlook, where you have all your opportunities on the left, but now with this reading pane, you can traverse down to child objects, and these can be custom or standard objects, and you can see and interact with the data, maybe in opportunity products. You can also traverse up things like account detail to see things on the account record and make those adjustments. Or you can change the way the layout looks and make adjustments on the opportunity record as well. And I can come in here as you would expect, and I can interact with this data just like I could on the main grid. But what I'm doing here is updating child records. And so one of my customers actually asked their reps to forecast out 36 months on every opportunity. So very quickly, one opportunity update turns into 36 records that they need to update. This also is true for support reps and case management as well, where you have to update a lot of records in a given day, and that's a lot of clicks. And then also, you're not sure if you got all of them because you have to tab them open and you have to go to different screens. And so ActionGrid can really highlight and make it easier to make sure that you complete all the updates that you need. Another customer use case that's been really helpful is from a sales leader perspective, being able to audit the CRM hygiene for my salespeople really easy. And so in this case, my sales leader logs into this maybe once a week, a couple days before their weekly sales meeting. And this organization has mandated that all quotes are generated out of the CPQ solution that's in Salesforce CRM. Well, the problem with these that are highlighted in yellow is that they're in the proposal quote stage without a quote generated, which just doesn't make any sense. And so what the sales leader can do, this is pre-filtered for their team, they can go in, they can select the records that are out of compliance and either make a note or a task or let's say a chatter post, and this goes out to all the reps that have deficient opportunities, and you can say, hey, update your opportunity with an actual quote. And that'll go out onto their chatter feed as you would expect. So that's ActionGrid. That's where we can help accelerate the sales process and fill in data gaps, because salespeople, support people aren't making they aren't avoiding making updates because they're not logging in or being bad at their job. A lot of times they don't know which records need updating, and so ActionGrid can really help on that side. Let's say this Acme Widgets opportunity as a sales rep is ready to move to the next level and ready to actually receive a proposal. So this is where our Conga Composer application comes into play, where we can actually enhance the quoting process beyond what's offered with most CPQs. And so on the opportunity itself, an area to highlight, this selling organization has added in an area for me as a rep to include relevant customer quotes, even a slide image, and then also identify the use cases. The reason this Acme Widgets account is going to purchase my, my products and services. While I'm here, important to note, we showed ActionGrid from a related list as well as a list view. So, but this client is ready to receive a proposal, and so with Conga Composer, on a single button click, we can generate a very professional document that combines that executive summary that I mentioned and pulls dynamically based on the data that I've entered into Salesforce. It also combines this with marketing materials that are out of the box, that are just about the company. It layers that on top of the Salesforce CPQ quote, and then merges in relevant terms and conditions that are relevant based on the products, the services, the state that, or the country that it's being sold to. And then at the end of the day, we can also integrate, in this case, to DocuSign, but your e-signature provider to pre-tag, what they call pre-tag the document so it's ready to be executable. And so what I'm showing here is a professional document that is my cover page. This is my executive summary, where we're dynamically merging in that relevant quote, the use cases that are specific to this account, and then it's automatically pulling things like my phone number and my name. The second page, this is the actual quote from Salesforce CPQ. And then down below, that's where I was mentioning the pre-tag, whether that shows up on page 2 or page 20 of the agreement. Conga and DocuSign together know exactly where to put the signature to reduce the risk of having an order form or a contract come in that's signed improperly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to my Salesforce environment. That's been sent out. Now it's going through the typical routing and approval process. Well, if we get feedback from legal that they need to redline the actual subscription agreement, that's where Conga redlining comes into play. And so me as a sales rep, I'm now empowered and authorized from my legal team to negotiate on some business terms, so that not everything has to go to my legal department. And so what I'm going to do here for this contract for Acme Widgets is I'm going to send it to for negotiation. And if I log in here, I can select which attorney I'm going to send it to. Next up, I'm going to select the contract negotiation template and just enter "please review." What that does is that selects that template for negotiation, and I can send that out directly. Now, how that's going to show up in the attorney's inbox, and I apologize there. Let me try that again. So I'm having an issue with that piece of it. So let me just walk you through what is meant to happen there. So how that would show up, that would go to the attorney's inbox, and that would have the agreement that's been defined by my legal department. And they would get a Word document just like they're used to today. And so they would download that. They would be able to interact with it in Word just as they do through their normal process. And so they make some red lines. Maybe the one change that they've made is they haven't changed any of the business terms, no limitation of liability, nothing that legal actually has to review. But they've made one adjustment where instead of net 30, They want net 60 payment terms. And I've been authorized by finance as a salesperson and legal to negotiate on those. And so what I can do is I can actually view the red lines, and our redlining application automatically tracks the difference between what was initially sent and what's been currently updated by the lawyer. And again, they're just interacting with it on Word and through their email client, and Conga does all the matching automatically to identify where that's coming from. So once that contract is now ready for execution, I can go on my way. I don't have to get legal involved. To loop it back to the end, so now we're back into the sales world, and the contract has been signed, the agreement has been executed, and now we're able to generate any reports or documents that you need. This can be an account plan 60 days ahead of their renewal. This could be an Excel report that could be delivered internally based on any Salesforce data that you want. And so in this example, what we're doing, this is an executive-ready PowerPoint or Excel workbook that pulls a lot of data from any place in Salesforce. And the use case here is a lot of executives want their data in a specific way, but it's all data that's from Salesforce already. And so from a lot of enterprise customers, what we're hearing is they actually have an analyst go in and run a report to refresh an Excel workbook or a PowerPoint template before their weekly meetings. Well, Conga can actually automate that, so it can be run either on demand through a click of a button like I just showed, or it can be set up to run a schedule and delivered to the key executives inbox, say, every Monday at 5 a.m. And so what we're seeing here is a performance report that's totally customizable, and the front page shows him or her all the summary information that they care about. And then on the supporting documents and the supporting information, we can even do things like a pivot table, and then also show them all that raw data from Salesforce that's compiling that information. Again, that can be delivered in PowerPoint or Excel. So from a Conga suite of products perspective, that's really where we can help accelerate the sales process, improve data accuracy by highlighting deficiencies with ActionGrid in the Sales and Service Cloud. We can integrate that and generate documents now with that more robust and complete data set with Conga Composer to generate pixel perfectly branded documents for this throughout the sales process, wrapping around the CPQ application. We can pre-tag those for e-signature with DocuSign or Adobe eSign or Certify. And then when we're ready to actually redline that application, Conga redlining can help accelerate that process as well. So with that, I'm just going to look over and see what questions have been asked. So the first question is from somebody who, and again, if you have any questions, please use the GoToMeeting area to type in your questions. Everyone's on mute here, so we'll field those questions through that. And so the first question we have is from a customer that already owns Composer. That's our document generation solution. And they're asking, how difficult is it to, so they have a report like that Excel workbook that I just showed, and they're asking how much more difficult is it to schedule that out. And so that's actually a matter of minutes to automate. That's our Conga Conductor application that automates the Conga Composer piece of it. And so that's a really, really quick win, and executives love having that show up in their inbox automatically. So best way to do that, just reach out to your account manager, and they can help get you set up there. All right. And another question we have regarding signers, is it taken from an entry made in the fields in Salesforce? It can be. So we have a lot of flexibility. I think what the question's asking is our integration to the e-signature providers. How do we know who should sign it? And so a lot of flexibility there. Very commonly with my customers is what I see is they leverage the out-of-the-box contact roles where you identify who the signers are, but there can be multiple signers too. So whatever your business process is, we'll be able to pre-map to that to reduce the risk of a sales professional routing it the wrong way to the wrong people, missing a field. We can set all those on a pre-tag basis. Another nice feature too, I actually use it internally to generate my quotes from Conga Composer integrated outbound to DocuSign, is we give our customers an option to indicate if they require a PO. And so they can check that box, and then if they do, it gives them an option to enter that PO number. Well, DocuSign can actually integrate that back to fill in the PO number field on the opportunity to close that loop and to communicate that PO number that we're expecting from accounting. A follow-up question to that, can other users be assigned to receive copies of the contract? Absolutely, on a carbon copy basis. So once the signing process is completed, you can automatically deliver the carbon copies to one or more recipients. Okay. And that looks like the end of the questions. If there's no other questions, thank you for your time.